So it really has nothing to do with the weight. It really had nothing to do with the physical appearance. It was all in here. And once I began to fix what was in here, everything else started to fall into place. Today's video is something that is a little bit different from any other weight loss or weigh-in video that I have done. Today I really just wanted to sit down and talk about a little bit of my journey and my transformation. I guess not really necessarily transformation, but just my journey that I've went through, where I began, some obstacles that I've faced, and then where I am today and what I'm doing with my journey today. Obviously, we're gonna start all the way at the beginning of when I first began my health, weight loss, whatever you want to call it, journey. At the time when I started, it was more so focused on weight loss, but the farther I progressed into my journey, the more it truly became about health and well-being. So I was about 13 years old when I first began trying to lose weight. At this point, I was in 7th grade and I was exceeding 275 pounds. And on my frame, I'm not a very tall person. I'm about 5'6", 5'7". I'm not very big. So that 275 pounds did not sit well. I'll try to find the oldest picture, or one of the oldest pictures that I can find, and put it on the screen. And I'll probably put other pictures on the screen throughout to just kind of give you guys reference points and see the progressive change over time. But anyways, that weight did not sit well, and more so than anything, it did not sit well with me mentally and emotionally. And that was really what drove me to want to better myself. I was struggling so hard with my weight mentally. I suffered from a lot of insecurities and anxieties just because of my weight. I knew I needed to do something about it, so I took the first couple steps and put it into my own hands, and I began cooking my own meals. And that's really where my spark of love for cooking began, was at around this time as well. So we kind of jump forward a little bit more. Obviously, I started around 7th grade. I had lost some weight. I don't really know the exact weight that I was in my 8th grade year, but I know when I went into my freshman year of high school, which would have been 2 years later, I weighed around 185 pounds. So that obviously is a huge change. That is about a 90-pound change, maybe even a couple more pounds than that. I don't really remember the exact number, but somewhere around 90 pounds weight change in 2 years, which was huge for me. And physically, I felt great, but mentally and emotionally, I was drained. Yet again, I thought that the weight loss and losing the weight would just solve everything. And I didn't really realize how deep it had gotten and how, I guess, scarred I was on the inside by these insecurities and by these anxieties. Because even at 185 pounds, down 95 pounds, I still had those anxieties and I still had those insecurities. And then I started playing, I'd played football throughout my whole middle school career as well. And when I was in JFL or Rocket football, whatever the hell you want to call it. And when I got into high school, obviously kids started to get a little bit bigger. And like I said, I'm a pretty small guy, 5'6", 5'7". So I wanted to put on a little bit more weight, and I really started getting into lifting. Lifting really opened up a huge door for me, and it took my health journey to a whole nother level, and I really fell in love with weightlifting. It helped me put on a decent amount of weight. It helped me put on a decent amount of muscle mass, and again, physically I felt great, and even mentally, at that point I was starting to alleviate some of those anxieties and insecurities and beginning to work a little bit more within myself. My sophomore year of high school hit, and it was just a challenge. I had put a little bit more weight on than I had wanted to. I was back in the 210-pound range, and this was because I was a sophomore starting varsity, and like I said, these kids were getting pretty big. I was playing with 6'2", 6'3", sometimes even bigger than that kids, and it was a challenge sometimes to move them around. It almost became kind of a necessity for me, and it was pushed on me a little bit more by teammates and coaches as well. And obviously, at the end of the day, it's my choice. I never wanted to blame anybody for that. I knew it was all on me, but I knew for the betterment of the unit, the team, I needed to be a little bit bigger. So I struggled with that a little bit, and then a little bit later into my sophomore year, it all just really hit me. The insecurities, the just not feeling like I was myself, not feeling like I was doing what I was meant to do, and I just broke down one day. From that point on, it became a challenge just to even eat decently healthy, because I was so mentally and emotionally drained that to cook a healthy meal or think about cooking a healthy meal or even cook in general, it was like, no thanks. After going through this period of my life, I would say probably about 3 to 4 months later, I had gained a lot of my weight back. Previous to this, I was around like the 210, 215 range, and I had got all the way back up to around 265. And then again, I kind of reached that realization and that point that I knew I needed to do something again. As you can kind of already tell within my journey, my weight has kind of gone like this. So I was back up to around 265 pounds and just severely depressed, severely anxious. And I knew I needed to do something for myself, so I clinged onto the gym as hard as I could. And I just tried to use that to pull myself out of whatever I was going through. And the gym really became time for me to be within myself and work through myself. I always used to say to people, my gym time is the time where the only things that matter in the world are me and the weights. Everything else just fades away. And I kind of think of like meditation for that, or I kind of think of meditation in that way for me today. It's not necessarily that I'm in the gym anymore. I'm not hitting the gym all the time. So meditation really is that for me today. Anyways, back to the story. I really clung to lifting weights and weightlifting because I knew that was my safe space. I knew I felt comfortable in there, and I knew that somewhere I could really succeed within myself. A bunch of work later, a bunch of weights lifted later, I began to lose weight again, and I began to eat healthy again, and I began to really come out of that very dark state of mind and that very dark place that I was in for at least a year or so. I began to pull myself out of that. And then shortly after that, I got a job and I kind of got my shit together a little bit more, I guess I should say. And I started working, and I started, just being more active and interactive with people and getting back out there for myself and doing what I thought was right for me in the moment. Recently, just earlier this year, in January, I kind of reached that same point again. I had kind of lost my way a little bit. I had gained a little bit of weight back. I was working just a shit ton. I was working 12-hour days, sometimes 14 or more hours a day. And I was under a lot of stress at the time. I told myself I wasn't stressed out and I was fine. But looking back on it now, I know that I truly was stressed out, which doesn't help with losing weight and health overall in any shape or form. In January, previous to that, I had some really serious stomach problems and really serious issues. And my father actually has Crohn's disease. So we were very concerned about that. And we went to a GI doctor and kind of spoke with him. And then we eventually came to the conclusion that we needed to do a colonoscopy. So I got that done in January to really check out what was going on with me. And we didn't necessarily get a bunch of answers from that, but we did get the answer that I don't have Crohn's disease, so I am so grateful for that and so thankful. There was still a lot of question and a lot of confusion as to what was going on. So from that point on, I really took it into my own hands. I said, okay, if the doctor doesn't know what's going on and he can't tell me, then I'm gonna have to figure it out on my own. That was in January, like I said, in the middle of January. And then at the end of January, me and my girlfriend had a conversation, and we just on a whim, we were actually in Austin, Texas on a trip and having a conversation, just the two of us, and we decided that we wanted to go plant-based. We decided we were going to give it a shot. We were going to start out with being a vegetarian and then transition maybe later into being a vegan. But obviously the whole basis of the conversation was just we want to eat healthier, we want to feel better, we want to look better, and we want to be better for ourselves. That kind of leads us here today. And where I am now. Today, I sit at actually, I don't know my weight. I'm not going to say anything because I haven't weighed myself in a couple weeks. It's been a few weeks, so I'm not going to say my weight because I really don't even know, and I'm not going to make any assumptions. But the last time I checked my weight, I was in the higher 189 range. This time around, with my diet and everything, has been going so much more smooth than any other lifestyle change that I have ever made. The reason I am a vegan today and still continue to eat plant-based is because I feel better than I ever have before. I love the food that I eat more than I ever have before. And on top of that, I'm lowering my carbon footprint, my environmental impact, and I'm not harming any animals in the process of doing so. You can really kind of see that up and down roller coaster of my weight loss journey. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you, or maybe not even the first one, that this shit is hard. I know there are so many habits that I had to break. I grew up on primarily fast food and candy and snacks and chips and bread, white bread, and all these things that we are brought into the world thinking are normal foods and are like everyday foods that people just eat, no big deal. It is what it is. But when I started to really educate myself and learn more for myself, I realized this wasn't real food. It's not real food. And if people were only a little bit more connected to their food and the process of what their food goes through, it would really begin to open a lot of eyes. And that's why I cook every single meal that I eat. I want to be in the process of making my food. I want to have my hands on the food. I want to know what's in my food. I want to know every single ingredient that's in not every single ingredient, but I want to know what's in my food. When I began to eat plant-based, I really took the perspective on that I was not going to focus on weight loss. I really wanted to focus on my health and my well-being because that was my main concern. Like I said, I had a lot of digestive problems. I had a lot of scary episodes. So my main focus was avoiding that and overcoming that. It was not my weight loss. The weight loss has just been a huge benefit of me eating plant-based and of me making this lifestyle change. And really, that's kind of what I want to highlight for you, is that it's not about weight loss. It's not about looking a certain way or getting to a certain number. It's really about the health and longevity of yourself, because that's what's most important. We can be as skinny or as fat, but if we aren't healthy, we are stripped away of our true wealth, because health really is the world's true wealth. Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can ever tap into that wealth that is completely yours. I really want you to focus on that wealth, because there's a huge misconception in mainstream media that it's diet, weight loss, lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, or whatever the newest claim or fad is. It's not about that. It's about your health and your well-being, and not even health and well-being singularly on a physical standpoint, but on a mental, emotional standpoint as well. Because like I said, even at the point where I felt physically my best and I looked really good and I had the muscles popping and everything, mentally and emotionally I was drained and I was sad. So it really has nothing to do with the weight. It really had nothing to do with the physical appearance. It was all in here. And once I began to fix what was in here, everything else started to fall into place. It felt so good to talk about that, honestly. It felt so good to just speak about that and share with you. And I hope you really got something from this. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it touched you in some way. And if anything in this video resonated with you on a deeper level, please, I would absolutely love to know down in the comments. As always, I love seeing comments. I love responding. I love chatting with you. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you got anything out of it or if anything really resonated with you, I would love to hear that down in the comments. I would love to communicate with you. I'd love to talk to you. And I would love to talk to you on other social media platforms as well. So make sure to go follow my Instagram and my Twitter and Facebook. You can add me on Snapchat, whatever you want to do. Feel free to DM me if there's anything that you want to talk about within the health realm or the wellness realm. I would love to talk to you. I would love to answer any questions that you have. And yeah, just be someone that you can look to and be able to express those deeper types of insecurities and those deeper anxieties around health and wellness, because I was there once. And I mean, even today, I still struggle with things and I still have my moments. So any help that I can offer you, I would absolutely love to. Like I've said like 3 times already, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was just so nice to talk about this and get this off my chest and share with you. And yeah, just be here, be now with you. And I hope the rest of your day goes absolutely beautiful. I hope you are blessed with abundance and blessed with the blessings and blessed with happiness and peace and joy and positivity all around you. I will see you guys in the next video. Like I said, make sure to comment, like, follow me on all this other social medias for more content, for all kinds of recipes, for some good ass food. Make sure to go check out my Instagram. And yeah, I'll be there waiting for you. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.